From the early 1900s to the late 60s, Vancouver's East Side Strathcona area was home to the city's first black community.
Black folks just weren't welcome other places in the city. There were covenants on title that said you can't sell to people of color who were black, and there was also a lot of restrictions in rental. So people who were racialized clustered in this neighborhood because that's where they could go in Vancouver.
During those tumultuous decades, the neighborhood became a source of vibrant culture, especially underscored in historic Hogan's Alley.
So this is where Vi's Chicken and Steaks used to be.
And Vi was your grandmother?
Vi was my grandmother.
And why was this an important part of the neighborhood? It was a local eatery.
Because it was the only local eatery that brought the people in, basically. You know, this was a night spot. This was open from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. They ate. You know, all she served was steaks or chicken. And then there was the fries and the biscuits that went along with it, right? So you only had those two choices of what you wanted on that menu.
In the 1930s and 40s, Hogan's Alley was an assortment of modest dwellings, Southern-style restaurants, and temporary nightclubs.
The entertainers would put on their little show, and they would do their thing, and they would all pile over here after. So between midnight and 5 a.m., they were partying.
But after years of fighting rezoning efforts by the city, the thriving community was essentially displaced as the first phase of the Georgia Viaduct construction was completed in 1971.
Hogan's Alley was right there where that viaduct is.
Incredible.
And then the alley went this way, and the alley went that way.
Right.
You see what I mean? Before the street. So we had two alleys lined up. But the one that went this way ended at the light.
And you lived down here?
And I lived here.
So what was it like back then? I mean, the way of life?
It was fun. And it was an area where black people were placed for years and years and years. So when the city decided to do the viaduct, everyone had to move.
While the original Hogan's Alley no longer remains, tremendous efforts are being made to preserve its legacy and carry it into the future.
Looking ahead, as the city redevelops this area, it's about what can this land do to remember and redress the black folks that used to live here and were pushed out. But it's really fantastic that we've got a temporary modular housing project coming in partnership with the city and the province and PHS Society, and it's going to provide housing for people who are homeless and struggling with mental health and addictions who already live in this neighborhood. We know black folks are overrepresented, unfortunately, in the downtown East Side street homeless population. So that's the first step. And then our vision is that this is really this welcoming, amazing place for black folks and people of all backgrounds to gather and celebrate black history, black culture, and the contributions that we really want to make to making Vancouver great.
The fondest memories was riding my bike to the train station or going and checking in on the restaurant when I wasn't supposed to be there. I wish we could turn back the hands of time, you know, so I could still be here. It's amazing what the city wants to do now. You know, they want to bring back what they tore up, basically. It used to be the black community, but now it's just a community, you know, so it's for everyone.
In Vancouver, Thor, City News.